Hello, and today I thought I would make a video showing the equipment that I use to make YouTube videos. I made this video a few years ago and some of my equipment has changed a bit since then, so I thought I'd just show you what I'm using now. I'm not going to show you like every bit of technology I have, because if I don't use it in the process of making videos, then it's not relevant to this video. First of all, this camera that I am talking to you on, I'm going to use another camera to show this camera. Alright, so I'm now using my webcam to show you the camera setup that I have most of the time. So this is my main camera. I've had this for a little while now. I featured it when I first got it, and yeah, it's done me good. It's good for what I need. It's rubbish at filming like wildlife and stuff, but generally for home videos and vlogs it's perfect. There's a little light on top, I'll show you that in more detail, and my RØDE microphone, which is really good. So the camera you just saw me use was this Logitech webcam. I use this camera for a few things, some videos that you may not be aware that I've used it on. I did a collaboration video with my friend Charlie a little while ago where I did a film review, and last year I made a video with my friend Emma where we talked about self-help and mental health and stuff. This camera was in use during those videos. It was clipped on top of my main camera, so the people or person I was talking to can actually see me at their end. Though I'm recording the video for the YouTube on my main camera, this one is in use so that they can see me and they can hear me via this one. I also use this one outside on my bird feeders, which I upload to my second channel. For that I've got this 20-meter long USB extension cable. I don't generally put the bird videos on my main channel anymore. I have in the past. I used a different camera for them, which I no longer have, which I featured in my old video showing what equipment I have. That camera died, unfortunately. It works well for a long time, but it had some issues. The colours were a bit off. It was only in mono, and it was only 720p HD, whereas this is full 1080p HD. And in stereo. It's not perfect. You can hear the autofocus clicking sometimes, which is a little bit annoying. This is my RØDE microphone, which I generally will use while I'm recording outdoors because it stops the wind, and I use it in here a lot because it stops the echo. I find when I record in here without it, I find the audio is a little bit echoey and it sounds a bit unprofessional, so I like to use this one. It is in mono, but it does have a nice crisp sound, and if I'm talking to you in here, you don't need it in full stereo or surround sound anyway. Mono is perfectly acceptable. So that's my RØDE microphone. You have to get the settings right, because if the audio settings on the camera aren't quite right, you can get a bit of a hiss, so I do have to make sure the settings are correct, and in some videos I am guilty of getting the settings wrong because I've been messing about with it. This is a cheap light I got off Amazon. As you can see, it works like that. It is a bit dodgy. It doesn't always turn on. I wrote to the manufacturer when I got it saying, you know, it doesn't always switch on or it switches off. It's not very reliable. And I think they offered me like 10% money back or 30%. I can't remember. It was something silly. But it seems to be alright at the moment, but I can't rely on it 100% of the time. But most of the time it's fine. This little thing is absolutely vital if I'm just using the microphone on its own and not the light, because when I've got the light set up I can put the microphone on top like so and it clears the distance. But when I use the microphone on its own, it's far too close to the camera. I'll just show you that now. I've gone back to recording on my webcam so I can show you. If I have the microphone plugged into the camera like so, I can't get to the zoom feature and everything. It's too close, it's annoying and just generally in the way. That's why I have this little device here. It basically just raises the microphone up a little bit, and there you can see it's got the space, which means I can get to the zoom functions and everything else, and it's just easier to hold. And then if it's attached to the light fitting, then that is not necessary. So that is my main current recording equipment, is generally everything on this camera. I do have some other cameras which I also use. This is my wildlife camera. I generally use this one more for my private Facebook page. I have uploaded some videos to a couple of wildlife pages on Facebook, or just for my own personal stuff. I think I may have used it briefly on this channel. Basically, it has a little sensor here, the camera is here, infrared light is here. It works quite well. Picture isn't 100% sharp, it could be a little bit clearer, and there is quite a big delay between it sensing something and then recording, and if you've got a fast moving animal or something moving by, it's not that brilliant. This is the model HC100, which you can still buy on Amazon. Although if you go to the website for Victor, however you spell that, I think it's German actually, so it's probably Victor, because their V's is pronounced differently. Anyway, they don't have this model anymore. They've got the HC... Well, they've got higher versions than this. So this is still available on Amazon, but not actually on this brand's website. They have, so this is obviously an older model. So the newer models might work a little bit better. This is my old laptop. You would have seen this in several videos. It is held together with tape on all sides. It's glued together by the PowerPoint because that has come unstuck. That's been resoldered recently. It is getting on a bit now. It's quite slow. I mean, when I first got it, I thought it was really fast. My very old YouTube videos, I had an old like RØDE laptop, and that couldn't process HD videos. So all my original videos are only in 720p HD, because I would record it in iframe, which is a weird format and a weird resolution, and then I'd upscale it to 720p HD. This one, when I got this one, I thought this was amazing because I could then video everything in HD, full HD, 1080p HD, and it was much better because it could edit it. Although it still takes around half an hour, maybe longer, to export or render a 10-minute video, whereas my new laptop, it is far superior in every respect except one. I'll talk about that in a minute, or two really. But it is so much faster. It's a Legion gaming laptop, and this one, it can not only edit good HD videos in nice fast time, it can do 4K easily. It's just, it blitzes through everything as if it's not even there. Like, for example, as I said, if I make a 10-minute video, it can take half an hour to render on this one, and I can't really do anything else with it while it's rendering. That's like half an hour. I have to find something else to do. The same video on this Legion can take 1 or 2 minutes to render. Literally, you click render, and then a couple of minutes later, it is done. It is that much faster. There are two slight issues with it. One, the webcam is down here for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. One major drawback, though, is the camera is at the bottom of the screen. It's down here. What's it doing down there? This is like where I like having the screen. If I was talking to someone, I'd have the screen about there. I suppose if I put it all the way back here, you know, then that kind of makes sense. But you know, it's like, why is the camera at the bottom of the screen? I don't understand. It makes no sense. My old one, which is here. Hello, old one. See, this one has got the camera at the top of the screen, which makes sense being at the top of the screen. It doesn't have an SD card slot anywhere on here. It's got all the ports on there. It's got your USB 3.1, it's got USB-C, It's got two outputs, HDMI, and then it's got a mini HDMI, whatever that's called. And yeah, so it's got everything. So this is very important. It's a USB 3 card adapter for mini SD cards and SD cards. I've always used to use this on my old laptop anyway, because the card port, which is there, that stopped working a long time ago. That just, yeah, that gave up a long time ago. So I bought this adapter, and this one doesn't even have one. So this is actually one of the most important things I have for videos, because without this it's very difficult for me to transfer the files. I can transfer files via a cable from my camera, but the transfer rate is painfully slow. Whereas this one, this little device here, I was transferring files earlier today at 130 megabytes, so that's more than fast enough. So this is actually every video you watch on my channel, well 99% of the videos you watch on my channel go through this little adapter at some point. I also have a 4TB hard drive, which I got for that laptop, because as good as that laptop is, the hard drive is actually not that big. It's a solid state hard drive. It's not huge. The one in here, I've actually had the hard drive replaced because the old one died, so I had to have it cloned, which took about a week for the shop to do because it just died so spectacularly. But I've got this one, so I back everything up, so hopefully I won't have an issue of losing all my files again. Sometimes if I'm recording outside, away from the camera, and I want to get a good audio, I use this little microphone. I've showed this in my last video where I showed my equipment, I think, and you can see the wonderful end piece there to help with the voice, so you can't, so it doesn't just sound like the whole time. That's where it plugs in, so yeah, that comes with it. I had to get this separately, otherwise everything would just come out of one speaker, which is not really ideal, so that adapts it to both speakers. And I've used this one in a few videos, though if I use this I do have to start fiddling around with the audio settings on my camera, or the levels, otherwise it sounds all wrong. And then what will usually happen is I'll then switch back over to my RØDE microphone, or just record without any microphone. I forget to readjust the settings, and then it sounds absolutely awful, and I think, oh, I can't use that video because it sounds so bad. Or I just think, oh, sod it, I'll just post it anyway, no one watches my channel, who's going to notice? But yeah, I generally, if I switch between the RØDE microphone and this microphone, or having no microphone, I do have to adjust the levels, and it's also got its own bit on there to adjust the recording levels, because if I don't, it just sounds awful, which is a little bit of a hassle because I do tend to forget. This is my action camera. It's not a brilliant one, but it's good enough for what I need. And basically, I generally will use that in the kitchen. I've got a little mount on the underside of a shelf. I can put that in, screw it in, and then the remote to turn it on and off is here. And then I can record stuff in the kitchen. I have made a video with it. I intended to make more with it. Problem is with this, when it's in the mount, you can't see the little LED, because the little LED comes on the side. If I can, will this turn on? I'm not sure if there's any power in the battery. Oh yeah, it can. So it comes on. You can see the little blue LED in the corner. There we go. And if I press record, like so, but a little light comes on down there when it's recording, and you can't see that when it's in the mount. So you're not always sure if it's actually recording or not, because the screen is programmed to switch off after a minute, and I can't change that. I've fiddled around with it, and if there is a way, I don't know what it is. So sometimes I'm thinking, is it recording? Because I can't see the little light because of the way the mount's designed. It's not a very good design. Just showing you a quick record on my camera, so you can see how much wider the angle is, and you can hear the audio difference as well. Although when I use this one, it's usually in conjunction with my main camera, so I normally just edit them both together, and you just get the audio from one camera instead of switching between the two. So yeah, I've used it in a couple of videos. You'll be seeing it in other videos. Well, not the camera, but the footage from the camera. If I'm making a vlog or something, and I'm out and about and I want to record what I'm doing, and I've forgotten to bring my main camera because it is quite bulky, I've got my phone. It's a Blackview phone. It's actually really good for the price I paid for it. I did have an issue with it where the fingerprint sensor stopped working for a little while. I've no idea why, but it started working again. I've got a little, what's it called, pop socket on the back. Yeah, it's generally a good phone for what I paid, but the camera isn't brilliant. The image is quite decent, it's sharp enough. It's got a really low FPS frame rate, and it really shows. So if I'm panning or something, it's really going to show up. So if I do have to use this one, I try to keep it still, because otherwise you really notice the poor frame rate. I'm now recording on my phone camera, so you can just see what it's like. This is what I've used sometimes if I'm out and about without my main camera. I've used this a couple of times in my car, actually mainly in my car, or just walking around. It's like, I don't have a camera, so I get my phone out, and so it's an okay quality. It's not brilliant, but it's good enough to make a little vlog with. And it's not brilliant in the wind either. It's got nothing to stop the wind blowing, so it sounds quite bad. But if it's a still day or something, it's quite good just to whip the camera out, record myself. It's got a decent enough picture. It's fine. It's not 100% crisp, but it's good enough. Okay, I've got some headphones. These are quite important if I'm fiddling with the sound settings, so I can plug the headphones into the camera, and then I can talk into the microphone and listen, and I can hear how it sounds, so I can hear if there's a hiss or if my voice is too high or too low. So this is quite important for getting the levels correct. I do have some other tech, but I don't really use it for making YouTube videos, or I haven't used it since making my last video showing my tech. I've still got this camera. If you've been watching my video for a long time, you know I have a love-hate relationship with this camera. More hate than love. It's terrible at videos, but the pictures are quite good. I do have a drone as well, but again the camera is fixed, just pointing in one direction. It's not like a Mavic, something like that, where the drone has a camera on a gimbal and you can control it. It's a fixed camera pointing in one direction, so I don't tend to use it. Plus it blows around in the wind. I can't use it on a breezy day, so I haven't actually used that in a long time, so I'm not going to feature it in this one. It was in my last video anyway. So that's basically most of the tech I'm using at the moment. So I've got some other stuff, but I don't generally use it for making videos, so I'm not going to feature it. And that is basically what I use. And software hasn't really changed, which I featured in other videos. I think I've shown what software I use in other videos, so go and find it. It's back there somewhere. Alright, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.